Alright, so I'm gonna do a Type 59 review in Armored Warfare. This tank right here, Type 59 Legend, because I don't feel it's gonna change that much between now and open beta, or not open beta, full release, because the Object 155 has never changed yet. But I don't enjoy this tank, but I am gonna review it fairly. It might be because I have the wrong commander in, but most of his skills are what I want for this tank, because we'll get into that. But, should we go first? Let's pull up the details. Oh no, we shouldn't pull up the details, because these are with my crew. We'll pull up this. Okay, so the stock armor. The hull armor is 135 on the front, 100 on the sides, 60 at the rear. It's steel, so it has no armor modifier, which is good and bad. At least it doesn't have a negative armor modifier, like the T-64 has, versus AP rounds. The turret is 240 on the front, 180 on the sides, 60 on the rear. The turret composition is again steel, so it gets no armor modifiers. The turret traverse is 21.30 degrees per second, which is fairly slow. Yep, so it's, as you can see there, it says basically a T-54A, which is basically an Object 155 with more armor. Oh, it's the I-59. You'll see go into. It does have. Wow, I am just rambling here. This is not a good review, but yeah. So what's next to review? The gun. Here's all the stock gun stats. Oh, it only has one gun, but before I put the crew in, because this here, if I were going into details, it would take into the crew skills I have and stuff. But yeah, yeah. So it's 100 millimeter, the 100 millimeter Type 59 rifled gun. Same one on the Object 155, same one on the T-54. It's that same old 100 millimeter. Does max damage 223, penetration 195, speed. These are with the AP rounds. The AP rounds 1,200 ms, 7.50 rate of fire, accuracy spread of 0.17. Targeting time of 3.40 seconds, reload time of 8 seconds, and it's able to fire AP, HE, and heat. The max elevation is 17, the max gun depression is -6, and I believe that's -4 over the rear. So, now to pull up the details. Should I pull up the details? Yeah. So, this is with... Now, we'll go over the crew skills first. Okay. And my ammo layout. For crew skills, this is what I have picked. This tank is free, and it comes with a level 5 crew. Your crew pictures and names don't matter. That's just what this tank came with. I chose Spin the Wind to improve the hull traverse speed, so you can get that frontal armor around there faster. And then Acceleration Off-Road, because this tank does accelerate pretty well, but not very good off-road, or accelerates fairly well, and accelerating off-road definitely helps it. Now for the gunner, I have chose Shoot from the Hip, minimum accuracy when accuracy circle is the largest, improved by 20%. So, the big circle, when you're moving or turning the turret, it's going to be improved. And then I chose Aim Speed improved. So basically, both of these help you get the smallest accuracy faster. Because, the circle's 20% smaller, and now that's improving the aim speed. So, and then on here, I chose Reload time reduced by 5%, and the ammo rack hit points increased by 40%, which is fairly significant increase of hit point, or ammo rack hit points. And the reason I chose that ammo rack hit points is because this vehicle takes a lot of module damage. I've been set on fire from the front. I've been ammo racked from the front. I've had all of my crew knocked out. And that's my choice of retrofits. Now, because we'll go over the ammo next. We'll go right like this. Now, I do have a pretty weird setup of ammo in this thing, but there is a reasoning to it. The AP rounds here only have 195 millimeters of penetration, which sounds like a lot. like 195. You know, that's pretty. World of Tanks, that'd be pretty good at most tiers. I mean, except for tier 10. I mean, maybe it's a little bit low at tier 9, but tier 8, you can do fine with that. But the reason I have more heat is because these are AP rounds. Now, some people don't realize this, but Armored Warfare has many different types of rounds. These are basically World War II style, just solid steel shot rounds. They don't have very good normalization versus sloped armor. Which meaning that they don't do too well against, like, slope. I mean, you can pen the lower plate of this with them, but yeah. But comparing that to the APFTS is these are much better against sloped armor. And now the Object 155 also has fairly bad ammo versus sloped armor, but they have 219 penetration. Like, and that's the tank I'm going to be comparing the Type 59 the most to. Is the Object 155. So you have the worst penetration of any tier 3 tank. Let's make sure of that so I don't eat my words. 247, 225, 219, you don't count, your main battle tank. 237, this is a stock T62. 210, you have worse penetration than the stock T62. With your AP rounds. Now, and you know, you also have probably the worst normalization. But they don't tell you the normalization of each round. So I know the heat round has 10% normalization. So and they also don't do a lot of damage. 223 is 223 there. These do 281 for the stock rounds. 309 for the fully upgraded rounds. Object 155 does 256, so that's more damage again. 239, is it? More or less? 278, yeah. And 263. So you're lower than the Soviet ones, but slightly higher than the NATO ones. So, yeah. So the gun isn't that great. Because, you know, it has a 3.4 second aim time for a not very good gun. I mean, Object 155 does aim faster, but I mean, this does have better accuracy than the Object 155. But, you know, because of the ammo choice, it's not as good. So, yeah. But there is one advantage over the Object 155 in terms of the gun. This can fire HE, as the Object 155 cannot. So, let me bring up the details of both of these tanks. Because these tanks are fairly similar. Maybe I should bring up the T62, but yeah. I would love to be able to resize these, but you can't. Okay. So you can see. Yeah. Okay, so... Okay, that's with the heat. Hold on a second, I have to switch these. No, wrong one. We'll compare the heat and the different details with the heat and the AP rounds. So, what do you have? These are both with their AP style rounds. You have more damage, more pen. You have 700 more DPS damage per minute with the Object 155. You do have more hit points, but that's only because this is partially because my retrofit I put on, which increases hit points. But you do have more. For retrofits, I have the Stabilizer Mark 1 and the Spalliner Mark 2. The Spalliner Mark 2 is giving it even more hit points by 6.19%. I don't know how much it has regular, so sorry about that. But then I put the gyroscopic stabilizer to improve the reload time and the aim time, which, because this thing has a terrible aim time, 3.40 seconds, actually slower than the AMX 5100 in World of Tanks, and that thing just like so long to aim. So what do you have over the Object 155? Object 155 obviously has a much better gun, much better ammo, same with the DPM. But you do have more front armor and more side armor. Not enough to actually save you from anything that the Object 155 can't. At least on the hull, because it's only 15 more millimeters, which, and 20 millimeters on the side, which these aren't very, very good. So yeah, I mean, the lower plate's exactly the same on these two. You will get penned in the lower plate every time. So yeah, you'll get penned in the lower plate every time. This tank, I noticed, suffers a lot more module damage than the Object 155. So that's something to think about. Now, they're both steel, so but neither of them get modifiers. Now the turret is much better than the Object 155 because they're both the same shape, or generally the same shape. But this one is 35 millimeters stronger on the front, and on the sides it's 50 millimeters stronger. So you have a much better turret than the Object 155, which already has a fairly good turret. Yeah. Now we'll go into mobility. The speed on the Type 59 is faster than the Object 140, or not Object 140, no, Object 155. And then, yeah. But it does show the acceleration here. Oh, I mean, 0 to 32 is exactly the same. 9 seconds. But this does have, because of my cruise skill, this does accelerate faster for me off-road. And for camouflage and view range, exactly the same. Gun depression, exactly the same. Turret traverse is faster on the Object 155. Reload time is also faster, mainly because I took that cruise skill and I have that retrofit. The accuracy is also better. Targeting time, however, is much slower than the Object 155. This is 2.30, or at least for me. Your stats are going to vary, especially here. Let's see. That's 2.38, that's 2.67. That's an almost 3-second aiming time. I got that down pretty good. But I mean, whenever I get more retrofits, that will get down even more. But this is a lot faster, I noticed. And you get more damage, so you might fire slower, but you have more damage and a faster aim time with the Object 155, but you do sacrifice armor. Now there is another advantage the Type 59 has over the Object 155, is that this vehicle has 2 retrofit slots, as the Object 155 only has 1. Which, yeah, and that one slot in the Object 155, I think you have to use for the advanced MRS. Because like I said, these get bad normalization. Now, alternatively, I probably should have the advanced MRS on the Type 59. But because it takes so long to aim, and it does have more armor, so you can stay out there a little bit longer. Okay, just making sure nobody sent me a message. You can stay out there a little bit longer, and because you have more armor, so you can afford to take that aim time. I tried to reduce that aim time a little bit more with the gyroscopic stabilizer, which you get from the Gavazaka, the Tier 4 artillery. And I will eventually get better forms of that, so we can eventually reduce this aim time by 11.25 seconds, which should bring it eventually down to where the Object 155 is. Now, I'm not too sure about having the armor slot, because I would have think that this thing would get a firepower bonus, because yeah, it definitely needs more damage. It definitely needs it. You feel the damage loss. That's why I primarily fire heat in this thing. Like, and if we, you'll see how much the DPM difference is with heat compared to the, I'll compare that. Because this is a neat thing you can do. You can switch the ammo on both of these, and then, you can bring up the details, and it will show you the, everything with heat instead. So, you know, look at the damage difference between the heat rounds. I mean, 320 damage is 2, that'd be 80, 20, 40 some difference, basically. I think. Around there. It's a good bit more. And your penetration on the Object 155's heat round is also is actually the same as the regular AP round on the Type 59. You also noticed you have 3,000 some DPS with the Object 155, right? But that's only you. Even with the heat, you only get 2,423 damage from it. But that's almost 1,000 more DPS with the Object 155. So the Object 155 is it can be a DPS machine. Just because it does fire relatively fast. It might not fire as fast. I know it does. It fires faster. This gun. This basically you have better gun, better armor. Honestly, this is the better tank. Type 59's not terrible. It's bad, but it's not terrible. It's mainly that aim time which brings it down, which I found. I mean, even reducing the aim time as much as I can, it's still fairly long. And because it has this giant lower plate, which doesn't bounce anything, this isn't World of Tanks where, like, two Type 59s shooting at each other from like 400 will bounce off each other with AP rounds, I found. And heat rounds. So, yeah. Oh, one thing also to notice is that this actually gets an infrared light, which this one doesn't. It doesn't actually do anything, but in real life, this tank it was basically a T-54 that was even simpler. Like, it doesn't have a stabilizer. It's probably why the aim time's so long on it. The accuracy on the move is just terrible, I find, because it doesn't have a stabilizer. So, you know, the guns, in real life, it'd be bouncing up and down. You know, you would barely be able to hit anything. So I'm going to get into a couple of games now, just to show you how this tank performs. My commander choice is a bit interesting. I mainly want to level this guy up because he does have improved aim speed and ammo swap. And he does have reload time. So I want that aim. I think there's other commanders which have aim time, right? Bullseye, minimum accuracy, weapon repairs. Vigilant, he's pretty fine. I would also recommend Anthony Diaz if you have him, because this tank takes tons of module and crew damage. If that makes sense. But I don't really need him in here, because his main thing is a crew experience gained, which was nerfed. That was once 10%, now it's 1. So yeah. Who else? This guy's pretty good in here. Because really, after bouncing an enemy shot, turret ring hit points improved, zeroing in after damaging an enemy module, so he's iffy. But this guy is also pretty good in here. Increase your crew attributes, yeah. But I'm gonna go with him. You get him from the Gvozdyk also. So let me get into a game. 2 games. I'm going to do 2. Alright, so we got into a game on Lost Island. As you can see, there's tons of Type 59s playing right now. Also Leopard 1. Let's see. I think the Type 59 will do a lot better when there's a lot less Type 59s playing. And because you can't penetrate yourself except in the lower plate. I mean, the camo on this tank does look pretty good. I am only playing in medium, so... Alright, I'm doing a review. I gotta play it, people. I don't feel like only doing reviews on tanks that I know aren't gonna change too much.
Affirmative. Gunner, scan for target. Affirmative. Loader, ready up. Up. Driver, move out. Load heat.
And this tank does accelerate pretty fast. Like, the terrain resistance is, like, I think fairly good. Like, you definitely want to try to find a place to go hold down in this tank. You know, like a rock. Like this, sort of. Yeah. This would be perfect if the tank wasn't so short. Like, this is an M60 spot, definitely.
Identify target.
I mean, you have this... I knew that was gonna happen. So I don't like driving out over in this map. Like, oh, this is not going good. So if okay, move. No, I can't be over here. Too many people, alright? This is not where I like to be at. To be where there's nobody. These maps are too small for that, but, you know. As you can see, it's just a big line. Look on the map, it's just a big line. There's no place to go over there, there's nobody. Maybe this tank's better in PvE. I don't know. I don't play PvE. I don't like PvE. I think PvE's honestly boring joke for... It's just there because, you know, people who don't want to play PvP. And it's not that much of a difference. It's basically just PvE, but PvP maps with bots, which I don't agree with. One of the really bad things about this tank is that, you know, like, this great it has this great turret, but, you know, it has no gun depression. It's -6, which isn't as bad as my BMP, which only has -2, but still.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
Where? What? Who?
Identify. Hostile tank. Go ahead.
You gotta let this gun aim. I found out the hard way. You cannot snapshot with this thing.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
I had the M60 get through there without me spotting.
Loader, no effect.
No pen. This tank has low pen. I shouldn't have been firing them.
Crash damage. Loader, good hit.
There's no way I was gonna pen there.
Identify. Hostile tank. Load heat.
Did he pen me? No, he did not.
Load HE.
I'll load HE. See if I can get him down.
Loader, a direct hit.
Oh, well,
Load
I helped him die. See if I can get that Walker Bulldog.
Identified. Hostile tank. Enemy destroyed.
And that's why you fire heat, so you can do more damage,
Ammo up.
which this tank definitely needs. It's a fine tank, but it is the worst tier 3 main battle tank. Hey, look at this acceleration to the water though, jeez. Uphill, not too great. Ugh. Now the other guy's all the way on the other side of the map. Oh, he's not all the way. He's...
Taking on water. We're submerged. We're submerged. Taking on water. We're submerged.
Who do you think he is? I think he went this way. Or he could still be there. Oh, well, we're probably gonna cap before we find him. Ah, of course he went that way. As you can see, most people, that Type 59 that was shooting at us, most people don't fire heat. Oh, nope, he's dead. This tank does take frontal fire damage, engine damage. At least I found it does. Yeah, it was an average game, I guess. Let's see how we did. I don't think we did too much damage. We only hit like 3 shots. Almost, that's pretty good. 3. Bad. As you can see, Type 59 is perfectly capable. Whenever it's just Type 59s. Time for bullseye. Yeah, more aim time. That's what you want. So now, what's the aim time on this tank? 2.47. That was 2.67 before, remember? So now with this commander, it should be 2.3. Yeah. Alright, let's get into another game. Alright, hold on. Alright, we got into a game on the Narrows. I actually had a game on Roughneck in this. Do not be the first one into the town. Or into anywhere with this thing. Like, I honestly feel this thing has to play from further back. I mean, it might have the armor, but it just has that giant lower plate that just takes full damage and gets set on fire from the front.
Loader,
So
ready up. Up. Driver, move out. Loader, heat.
I'm just gonna wait to see where the team goes. See, there's 3 of you guys going up there. I go over here. That's where the scout's going. Spotted. I mean, you can see this thing accelerates. It's very good at accelerating. It's not quite World of Tanks speed, but... Actually, I'd say this is World of Tanks speed. A lot of people... It doesn't seem like it, but... Because you're cruising around at 30 almost constantly. Yeah, I wish that mountain wasn't there so you could get side shots. That's where the entire enemy team looks like they are, but... I think I'm not going to get much damage done this game. Probably should be over there, but you know, whatever. Don't feel like it. We're gonna flank. Cause your AP rounds suck. Retrofits, they're aiming better. RNG. Oh! Oh! Don't you dare get absorbed by the heat. And I missed. And side of the... Ooh, back at the turret. God dang, I was gonna kill him. Alright, 290. Not that bad. I think that's max. Oh, here. No. No, 320 is max. So, a decent roll. Leopard. Up. Are you cheating or? Oh yeah, you can't go around there, I forgot. Because of stupid map design. You should be able to drive along that path, but you can't. Go up the hill, just get some boost. I mean, what? We're going at 50 some until we hit something, but yeah.
Identify target. Hostile tank. Loader, jump in.
Oh, he bounced him. Team, help me.
Identify hostile truck. Load heat. Loader, no effect.
As you can see, armor definitely holding up. I'm getting out of here. He's gonna get one. Yeah, he's gonna get one more shot into me. Veteran. Oh, God dang it. Gah. There we go. A hard time with the T-62 though.
Identify target.
Someone with an autocannon. These maps are so bumpy, and it's like every little bump, because this thing has bad gun depression, just messes you up.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
This guy had to die right there, right in the good spot, right? Will you stop that? Well, we're gonna lose this, but
Identify target.
I think this was a...
Tank. Loading E, target hit. Identify target. Hostile tank. Loader, direct hit. Loader E.
Oh! Should reload before him, depending on...
Loader, no effect.
Dang. I should definitely be firing AP there, but there's that Leopard. And we got this tape T60. Gah, what happened to my teammates over here? T62, much better than Type 59. Well, I'll just enter the garage. I'll show you the results. Okay, so we did lose that mission, but it did almost 2,000 damage, spotted 5 vehicles. Came second on the team. Obviously, as you can see, the T62 destroys this vehicle. Because... Sorry about that. Because, you know, it just has a better gun, more damage. More damage and better armor. I mean... guessing it was fully upgraded, but... I mean, especially with the heat rounds. I mean, even the AP rounds, look at the damage. That thing's damage with AP is more than my heat, and more than the Type 59's heat round. You know, that's fine, because this is a premium tank. It's not supposed to be as good as a regular. And Type 59's not bad. I thought it's the worst Tier 3 main battle tank, but... I was gonna list the best of the worst main battle tanks. It'd be T62, Object 155, M60, Leopard 1, Type 59. Actually, no. T62, Leopard 1, Object 155, M60, Type 59. And just because I think the M60 is just crap, honestly. Yeah. Are my friends on? Nope, nobody's on. Nobody's on for some reason. Oh. Bye. Hope you enjoyed this Type 62 review. Or not Type 62. Can't wait till that's in the game too. Type 59 review, I mean. Oh. It's just, how do I turn off the AI? Isn't it like F12? There we go. Let me get a cool screenshot.